With a 50% obesity rate in the U.S. and more unhealthy people than ever before, it is time to make America healthy. Welcome to Make America Healthy with Beth Shaw. If you're feeling tired, toxic, heavy, slow, or stressed, then keep listening. Beth and her expert guests are here to offer practical advice and share the tools you need to reclaim your physical, mental, and emotional health. Now, here is your host, Beth Shaw.
Welcome to Make America Healthy. My name is Beth Shaw, and I'm the host of this podcast. At Make America Healthy, our goal is to educate you, inspire you, uplift you, and get you on the right track to take more control of your own physical and mental health. I'm the author of 4 best-selling books on health and wellness, the founder of YogaFit Training Systems Worldwide, the world's largest yoga mind-body school, and the host of Make America Healthy. And I'm so happy today to bring you Dr. David Minkoff. The topic of today's Make America Healthy is amino acids and how to remove toxicity from the body, which normally I don't put those two together. Dr. Minkoff is an alternative healthcare expert, guest lecturer, writer, radio show host. He also authors weekly newsletters, the BodyHealth Fitness Newsletter and Optimum Health Report. And he has a degree in medicine from the Wisconsin Medical School, as well as he is board certified in pediatrics and a fellowship in infectious diseases from UCSD. Dr. Minkoff, welcome to Make America Healthy.
Thank you, Beth. Good to be here.
Good. Thank you for being here. I take amino acids. I take them almost every day. I'm not sure of the intersection of amino acids and toxicity, but you'll explain that to me and our listeners. Can you tell us how you got interested in alternative healthcare and the study of amino acids?
Yes, so I got interested in healthcare because my wife, who is a podium triathlete, nurse, and high interest in health, started going to lectures back in the middle 1990s. I ran into a guy named Jeffrey Bland, who's the father of functional medicine, dragged me to a lecture one day, kicking and screaming. He impressed me as maybe the smartest guy I ever met, got me interested in nutritional biochemistry. My wife learned that mercury was bad in your teeth, so if you have silver amalgam fillings, you should take them out. She didn't learn that you had to take them out in a very special way. And so the dentist she went to drilled out 10 silver amalgam fillings, one sitting, no protection for her. 6 weeks later, she was diagnosed with autoimmune thyroiditis. 6 weeks after that, autoimmune hepatitis. 6 weeks after that, probable MS. She lost function in weakness in one arm and one leg. And at the time, I was an emergency room physician. I was sending her to the best doctors I knew. The neurologist finally said, with this autoimmune disease, you need to go on high-dose steroids and another toxic medicine called interferon. Then it, to me, was like this, something's wrong here. Nobody knows what they're doing.
That's quite a story.
Yeah. It's interesting. She owns a home healthcare nursing business, and next door moved in a dentist who was in West Palm. He moved up to Clearwater. He opened a practice. One day I was going to pick her up from work, and next door he had just moved in, and on the marquee it said natural dentistry. One day when I went to pick her up, he was walking out of his office, and I introduced myself to him, and I asked him what natural dentistry was. And he said, we believe that the mouth is part of the body, and you wouldn't do things in the mouth that you don't do in the body.
Right.
For example, you wouldn't put mercury in someone's body because it's so poisonous. I said, oh, that's interesting. My wife had all her fillings drilled out, to my chagrin at the time. I told him what she was going through, and he said, well, 100% she is mercury toxic. No one here will help you. There's a guy in Seattle, Washington, who does courses for doctors, and he teaches them about detoxification. And you should go there, study with him, and then you'll be able to figure out your wife, which is what happened. So I went there, I studied with him. I came back, I put a program together based on what I learned. In about 6 months, she was completely well. All of her symptoms went away. And we had friends who were watching this, and they started to call me. Now I'm a full-time emergency room doctor, so I wasn't doing this as a new profession.
Yeah.
They started to call me. I've got chronic migraines. I've got ulcerative colitis. I've got rheumatoid arthritis. I have chronic fatigue. Can you help me? And I thought this might be a good challenge. She had an extra room in her nursing office. And I said, I'll meet you there Tuesday afternoon. We can just play. I wasn't thinking of it as an income practice. And people started to get better. And then we started to get inundated. And I found that this was way more fun than what I was doing in the emergency room. I switched and we opened up a practice. That was 1997. Now we probably have the largest or one of the largest integrative, we do integrative medicine and oncology in the United States. We have 90 plus employees, 4 medical doctors, 6 nurse practitioners, and we mostly treat people who have chronic unsolved illness, Lyme, cancer, autoimmune disease. We have a whole variety of things that we use to help them, and we help a lot of people. So that's what I've been doing for the last 25 years.
That's a remarkable journey. And it really shows that you took a challenging situation and really turned it into your life's work. Your practice is located in Clearwater, Florida.
Right.
Yeah.
The other half of the question that you asked me, my hobby has been Ironman triathlon since 1982. I've done 43 of them. There's very few people on the planet that have done that many. I'm still racing. In fact, Saturday I have a race. But I got injured and I tore my hamstring. It's about 10 years ago, and I wasn't able to heal it. I virtually had access to everything: physical therapy, massage, chiropractic, hot, cold, injections, you name it. I tried it. And I didn't get any better. One day, I got a free lab test from a lab that was looking for our business. And they said, we'll do your test free to see if you like our test. I did the test. And the test consisted of levels of serum amino acids. So these are blood levels of amino acids. Now, amino acids are the building blocks for body protein.
Right.
So proteins are complex mixtures of 22 different amino acids. If the cell wants to make the simplest protein is thyroid hormone. It's one amino acid with some iodines added. Probably everybody's heard of glutathione.
Yes.
So that's 3 amino acids. For example, skeletal muscle, like myosin, the muscle protein, that has almost 5,000 amino acids per single muscle fiber. In order to make muscle, the muscle cell has to assemble 45 or 4,600 amino acids in exactly the right sequence, and then you have skeletal muscle. We have over 400,000 proteins in our body, and they're all made out of these things called amino acids, which we get from our food. When I did my amino acid profile, I had major deficiencies in amino acids. At the time, I thought the ideal diet was to be a vegetarian. I was eating some fish, some dairy, but mostly I was eating brown rice and vegetables.
Right.
That's what we did in those days. When I saw my test, I was appalled that here I am. I'm a very good athlete. I'm very fit. I can't heal my leg. And maybe the amino acid deficiency is underlying that. I started to experiment with amino acids with the intention of, could I get the right balance to heal myself, and then my muscle repair would happen. I did that, and 6 weeks after I took the product, my hamstring was healed. I went up to Penticton, British Columbia, did the Ironman Canada, had my best time ever, had no soreness left in my leg at all. I wrote an article about this mixture that I was using in Triathlete magazine. Now, there was no real internet at the time. It was all slow mail, and it was a print magazine.
Right.
I got 3,000 responses to that article about, where did you get this? I want some. Give it to me. I can't heal. I'm injured all the time. I'm fatigued. And so I had earlier started a company called BodyHealth, where we were making a heavy metal detox product. This is the product that healed my wife. We had a few thousand practitioners who were buying that product from us. because it really worked. It's a product called Metal Free. I said, maybe we ought to make this amino acid mixture and then see if other physicians or other people would like to buy it. That product we made, it's called Perfect Amino. It's the essential amino acids, the ones that you have to have. Now we have millions of people who use the product, and from all different things. It grows hair, it helps hormone balance. And the key factor in detoxification, to get back to your original question, is that the enzyme systems that the body requires to detoxify are all enzymes made out of amino acids. We test these now. 80 to 90% of the patients that we see, who are all chronic ill patients, have major deficiencies in glutathione, just one peptide. And they should be making it, but they're not. They have deficiencies, and so their body's not making it. Detoxification, we found when we were doing heavy metal detoxification, people who had aluminum or arsenic or mercury or cadmium or lead, that if we gave them metal free, they detoxed really well. But if we gave them metal free with Perfect Amino, they detoxed in about 60% of the time. It improved detoxification by 40%. One added simple supplement.
That's really interesting because I've been working out since 15. I've been taking amino acids fairly regularly for a better part of my life. I've also done cleanses and detoxes and liver cleanses and all of that. I had the metal taken out of my mouth years ago also. I think of amino acids more as a building block, like you said. And from what I'm hearing from you, we can detox and build simultaneously.
Oh, sure. In the body, you have 100 trillion cells, each of which has a job. So the hair cell is supposed to grow hair. The ovary or testicle is supposed to make hormones or make sperm or make eggs. The thyroid is supposed to make thyroid hormone. The muscle is supposed to make muscle. And if you have deficiencies, which most people have, when we measure, like the vast majority of people, they have deficiencies in their blood levels of amino acids.
So, Dr. Minkoff, because I've taken a lot of different tests, food sensitivity tests, and I get my blood work done all the time. Where can we get a test to see what our amino acid levels are at?
The test I like the best is Genova Labs.
Okay.
They have a test there called the ION panel, ION. It stands for Individual Optimized Nutrition. And on that, you get levels of vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and essential fats. You also get organic acids. It's a great profile. And you can look on there and see, are your essential amino acids. So there's 9 amino acids that are considered essential. If you have the 9, you can make the rest of them to make 22. But if you're missing any of the 9, you can't make the other ones.
So I have another question for you because I take an amino acid blend.
Yes.
5 to 8 tablets a day, most days. But then I also take a lot of other amino acids individually, maybe tryptophan or tyrosine. Can you give us just a list of the different amino acids and how they help us? And then talk a little bit more about deficiencies and what people might be seeing if they are deficient?
Yeah. So what you have to have are these 9 essential amino acids. You want to make sure that the other thing that's interesting about this is that the ratio of these amino acids really matters. If you have a lot of excess of the ones that you don't need, then the body just can't use them. It turns them into calories.
Oh, interesting.
So if you look at, and this is measurable and this has been documented, if you give people Perfect Amino, here's the other point to understand, is that fats, proteins, and carbohydrates are all made out of 3 things: carbons, hydrogens, and oxygens. Amino acids have an added extra element, which is nitrogen. Amino in Greek means nitrogen.
Okay.
These are nitrogen-containing compounds. You can do a study where you have a person eat just fruits and vegetables, which have negligible nitrogen and negligible protein. Give them perfect amino. You can measure how many grams of nitrogen in the perfect amino that they take in, and then collect their urine and see how much comes out. Now, whatever stays in didn't come out because it got incorporated into a protein somewhere. If you look at perfect amino, 99% of those amino acids are incorporated into body protein.
That's really amazing.
One more thing, just let me carry this one more step. If you test dairy proteins, casein and whey, only 16% of the amino acids are retained because the mixture, the balance, the body can't use them as well. Now, they're not bad proteins, but they don't work as well, and you get a lot of calories from them. You get an insulin response from them.
For example, I had a personal trainer she's very big into cottage cheese. Yeah. For a while, I was doing that because my functional medicine doctor may tell me that I weigh 140 pounds. I need to eat at least 100 grams of protein every day, which for me is really almost impossible. That's why I do supplement with amino acids. If certain foods obviously have more grams of protein than others, what I'm understanding from you is that most dairy sources are not that effective.
The myth is that 10 grams of protein from cottage cheese is equal to 10 grams of protein. You look on the label.
Yeah.
Okay, I had a cup of cottage cheese and that gave me, I don't know, 10 or 15 grams of protein, whatever it is. And then you look on the tuna fish can and it says this much tuna fish gives me 10 grams of protein. And then you look on the pea protein concentrate and you say, okay, 10 grams of protein is this much pea protein, and 10 grams of collagen is this much protein. But that isn't true. The effectiveness of the protein is very different, and it's dependent on how well the body can utilize the amino acids in that protein, because the protein gets digested down to amino acids. That's what gets absorbed. And then when that amino acid comes into the body, it's either made into a protein or the nitrogen is taken off and it's made into a calorie.
I've heard conflicting things. If I only want to eat 2 eggs, and I know really that if I want to get 30 grams of protein, I need to be eating 5 eggs at a time. Can I have 2 eggs and then a handful of amino acids?
Well, it depends on the amino acids because most of the amino acid mixtures on the market don't have the right ratio either.
Okay.
So perfect amino, if you take 2 scoops, that's 10 grams.
This is a powder, not tablets.
It comes as tablets too.
Okay.
So each tablet is a gram.
Okay.
Okay. So what we suggest for most people is take 2 scoops or 10 tablets. That will give you 30 grams of equivalent protein of like steak or tuna fish.
So for people who are on the go, they're busy like myself, I'm teaching a lot. If I don't want to eat that much food, I can just take your product and rest assured that I will keep my muscle mass.
That's right.
Wonderful.
So like I'm 160 pounds.
Okay.
And I'm trying to get 160 grams of protein a day in.
Wow.
Okay. I can't eat it. I can't eat that much.
Yeah.
Okay. If I take 2 scoops twice a day, that gives me 60 grams of equivalent to meat protein right there. And it's virtually no calories. And then if I have 3 protein meals, 6 ounces of meat or fish at 2 meals, and let's say eggs or something else, I can make my quota and I won't become a gigantic obese because I'm eating so many calories trying to make my protein.
So can you take amino acids, whether they're your powders or the tablets, with a protein meal, or do they cancel each other out?
They don't cancel each other. They come.
That's good to know because I heard different things on that as well. In today's world, what are some of the main sources of toxins, in your opinion, other than metals in the mouth?
That's the other thing we measure on everybody, which is environmental toxin load, molds, and other metals, chemicals, pesticides, and plastics are just a huge one.
I heard recently that they're now finding plastic in people's brains when they're doing autopsies.
Yeah, and in their sperm producing cells, in their testicles. There's hundreds of thousands of these. They've never been tested for safety. They're in virtually everything you eat. You have to have a strategy where you try to minimize the toxins you're taking in, organic food, reverse osmosis water, filters for your air. Don't use plastics. Don't use chemical products on your body. It's a half-time job to just figure out what to not to avoid, but then effective strategies with adequate hydration and adequate bowel movements and adequate supplementation so that you can get these chemicals coming out of you as fast as they're coming in, then you can maintain a relative degree of health.
Relative degree, it's hard in today's world. What are some common signs that someone's body may be overloaded with toxins?
They don't feel good. They might have fatigue. They might have brain fog. They might have memory problems. They might have pain. They might have slow digestion. They might have diarrhea. They might have low thyroid function. It's all that stuff.
For people who are intermittent fasting, if they take your amino acids in the morning, are they going to break their fast?
No, because there's virtually no calories. There's no insulin response. There's virtually no calories. It does not break a fast.
That's really good. That's very good news for me.
Because when you're fasting, the detox process is probably on, and the autophagy process is probably on. And you want to make sure that all those enzymes are at full levels and able to do their job. Otherwise, when you detox, you just feel sick because the stuff's coming out and it's not getting out. It's coming out of the cells and tissues and body fat, and it's not getting eliminated. And then you feel the poison.
It must be so rewarding for you to be in the part of medicine where you actually see people healing naturally. Are there any success stories in particular you'd like to share with our listeners?
My day is generally a success story. It's amazing. I always loved being in medicine. And I've been through I was a pediatrician, I was an infectious disease hospital specialist, I was an emergency room doctor. I enjoyed all of it. But the level of satisfaction in doing this work is just beyond. It's a way to connect with people very intimately in really helping them restore their health. And when people don't feel well, that hits them at their basic core. They can't be themselves. They can't be happy. It's hard to be productive. In probably close to 90% of the patients that we see, most of the patients we see have been through 12 doctors.
Yeah.
So they've been through the
My next question, as someone who was trained in more traditional Western medicine, and then you morphed into more functional and an alternative medicine, what are your thoughts about our traditional Western medical model right now? I keep reading things that 3 out of 4 people who are in traditional healthcare are going to resign from their job in the next 4 years. I know cancer rates are on the rise, especially since COVID. What are your thoughts about what's going on?
We call ourselves now integrative medicine. There are aspects of traditional medicine which are amazing and miracle producing. And there's aspects of it which are horrifying. If you break your leg or you need a C-section or you have a big heart attack, traditional medicine can save your life. But if you have some chronic condition, whether it's fatigue or brain fog or cancer or these other things, chances are you could do better using an integrative medicine approach than using the traditional approach. Because mostly medicine is run by big pharmaceutical companies, and doctors are educated that way. And they have to do what I'm doing. You have to basically get a whole new additional education. Sometimes we use pharmaceutical drugs because the patient needs it while they're getting their health back together when they don't need them anymore. But in the process, they might be at high risk. Let's say their blood pressure is way high and they could have a stroke. They might need something, but then the goal is, can we transition you back to real health where you don't need any of this stuff?
Right. For our listeners who are interested in seeking out integrative medicine doctor, where should they go?
We have a website, lifeworkswellnesscenter.com. They could look on there. There's hundreds of pages of information. There's hundreds of YouTube videos where the least you'll get is an education and introduction to this stuff. There are doctors around the country who do this work. There's some organizations that I'm a member of. One is called ACAM, ACAM. It's the American College for Advancement in Medicine. The website is org. Those are doctors that have been certified in what's called chelation therapy, but they've also usually doing other things like what we're doing. They can help people with hormones and with supplementation and things like that. The other one that is very good is the website is AAOT.US. That's the American Academy of Ozone Therapy.
Okay.
And those doctors have been trained to deliver ozone, which is a miracle therapy for many things.
My dog gets treated with it for his cancer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So those are two places people could look.
Great. Your website is bodyhealth.com. We're offering our listeners a 15% discount on all your products by using the code Make America Healthy at bodyhealth.com. Anywhere else that people can find you, Dr. Minkoff?
Yeah, so the LifeWorks Wellness Center is the medical practice. BodyHealth is the supplement business. You have a great name for your thing. It should be Make America Healthy Again.
People say that all the time. And then I'm like, I don't know when America was actually healthy that we can make it healthy again. Because if you think about it, after World War II, we had, I call it the 3 Fs. We had the fast food companies, we had pharmaceuticals, and then we had fluoride. So I think after World War II, the health started to decline. And, now it's really on a downward spiral, which is why I do this podcast. But yeah, I don't know what the health of the nation was to make it healthy again. And I realize that all of us that are in the health and wellness industry in some way, shape, or form are pushing a big boulder up the hill every single day. So I'd like to thank you. You're an inspiration. I'm so grateful that you decided to come on Make America Healthy. And I hope to drive across the coast to LifeWorks Wellness Center and say hello to you personally and pick up some amino acids while I'm there. We'd like to thank the sponsors of today's show at Make America Healthy. The first one is Previmedica and Cell Sciences. They do testing for food sensitivities and intolerance. I've taken their tests and they were quite eye-opening because a lot of the things that I was eating that I thought were healthy, I'm actually very sensitive to. So they have tests for methylation. They have tests for micronutrient deficiencies, food sensitivity. They have nutritional experts who will speak with you on the phone. You can go to previmedica.com or you can email them at hello@previmedica. You can also save 15% on any of their great tests by using the code YogaFit. You can call them at 855-773-8463, extension 111. That's previmedica.com. We'd also like to thank our sponsor, BioOptimizers. I take their magnesium breakthrough product, and it's a combination of 7 different types of magnesium. What I used to do is I would buy 4 or 5 different types of magnesium and make my own blend by taking a bunch of pills. But now I don't have to do that because magnesium breakthrough is here. It's optimized absorption and has cofactor ingredients that enhance the delivery to every cell. They also have a 365-day money-back guarantee. So you can go to bio.com and save 15% at checkout by using the code Make America Healthy. That's biooptimizers.com. They also have a lot of other great products like probiotics, but we're just talking about magnesium today. We'd like to thank our title sponsor, YogaFit Training Systems Worldwide, the leader in yoga, mind, body, fitness education. Since 1997, offering live conferences, live trainings, corporate wellness. Yoga for healthcare providers is a big program of YogaFits. They do a lot of work in Japan in the hospital system there. YogaFit has trauma-informed yoga. So programs for enthusiasts, teachers, mental health professionals, and more. If you're looking to take care of your back, your posture, or learn how to really get your body into great shape, go to yogafit.com and you can save 15% on any of the courses or events by putting in the code MAH15. So until next time, everyone, thank you for being here. Again, thank you, Dr. David Minkoff, for educating us on something I didn't know that much about, amino acids and toxins. And until next time, everybody, stay healthy, stay happy. Thank you for listening. Please share this show if you enjoyed it, and namaste. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on Make America Healthy. We hope we've given you some tools you need to take back control of your health. Until next time, we wish you a healthy and wonderful week.